In this video, we're going to look at posting overhead expense invoices for suppliers. So in order to begin this, we will click on the main menu, navigate down to suppliers, and click on supplier payments and invoices. So in this option here, you can create a batch of payments or invoices for a month. The purpose of creating batches is that if you have to go back for audit purposes and relook at something like a specific transaction or that occurred during a year, um, having all your payments or overhead invoices in different batches, like a batch for each month, makes it easier to go and find usually what you're looking for. So we'll just click create new batch, and we're brought to this screen, and up here we'll call this March overhead expenses. Put a capital E in there. And at the bottom of the screen here, I've got a couple of options. I can do a payment to pay an expense. I can do a journal if I had to do a journal from an account, maybe a contra entry, or I can do an invoice or a credit note. So I'm going to click on invoices and credit notes here. And on this screen at the top, I'm going to type in an account that I set up for miscellaneous expenses. So a lot of businesses during the month will have small miscellaneous expenses, like things they might have got from a petrol station or toll charges, things like that. And you don't want to create a separate account for each one of those. You just need to account for the VAT, really. And in order to account for the VAT, you need an invoice. So we'll choose the miscellaneous expense account. And over here to the right hand side, I am going to first change this to a date. We'll say that this has been done for March. We'll just put it in as the 31st of March. You can choose here whether it's an invoice or a credit note, but we're going to do an invoice. And you can put in an account reference over there, so you can. Down below that, where it says group account, this is where we're going to choose the nominal code in your expenses that you want to post this expense to. So if I click on that question mark there, let's say I just want to choose motor expenses down there. So I choose motor expenses. It suggests a 23% VAT rate. I can click on that and I can choose whatever VAT rate I like, really. You might choose non-resale 23% because it's an overhead, and you can have all that preset as well. You can set that VAT rate against this overhead account if that's the usual default VAT rate. And regardless of your jurisdiction, if you're in the UK or Northern Ireland, it'd be 20% non-resale. So down below that, we can put in our goods amount, we can put in a discount if there was any, we can put in a VAT amount, or if you just want to put in the overall total amount, and let's say the total for motor expenses was 120.35. You put that in and the system calculates the goods and the VAT of that based on 23%. So we can click add, and now we can add on our next overhead expense. There's no need to create a separate invoice for all these. We could just add on the next expense on the same invoice and just have one invoice for March that has all the overhead and all the small miscellaneous overhead expenses. For things like light and heat, you will have a standalone account because that's a steady bill that comes in all the time and it's substantial enough to have its own and warrant its own account. Okay, so let's say our next expense down here is travel and hotel, and we'll leave that at 23% there. Let's say we spent 25 quid on travel and hotel. We click add. So you can keep going and add more things on and just select the nominal code or the expense code that it relates to. But when you're all done, you can click cancel to get out of that screen, and we can see the lines that we've added to our invoice before we finish it off. You can even add a text line. There's a button down here that you can click add text. You can add that on, click add, and this will all display on your invoice. When you're all done, you just click save, and now you're ready to do your next invoice. So that's a miscellaneous overhead account where you just add on small things like toll charges. You've now accounted for your VAT and everything. Let's say now we want to do the light and heat bill. So I have an account set up called ESB. I choose ESB. Note that down here, the group account is already set up and defaulted, and the VAT is already set up and defaulted for me. Um, the description there might be wrong, but this is just a test database. So you can preset the expense code on the supplier account so you don't have to pick it every time, and you can preset a VAT rate against the supplier account too. So you can have a lot of this stuff already preset. So let's say we just want to put in the ESB, the electricity reference number. We'll say that's ref 7891. And then down below here, we can just put in our total VAT inclusive amount. And let's say for the period we're talking about, it was 250 quid. And you can see the VAT and the goods are worked out there. We click add. We don't probably need to add another line to your ESP. Maybe you do. It could be for phone bills. They may itemize it and break it down a little bit further if you've got company phones. But we'll just assume we're all done here now. We can cancel out of here. Again, if you needed to add anything else like a text line, you can do that, but I'm just going to click save and then that's done. So we've added on two separate overhead invoices. I'm just going to cancel back out of this screen, and now in our payment batch or our payment and invoice batch, we can see these two invoices here. Let's say we want to pay this invoice, this electricity bill. Down here, we can click on payments, put in your account in the top left-hand corner, put in the date of the payment. We'll leave it as today, the 13th. Choose your payment type. We'll leave that as bank transfer. And over here on the right-hand side, to the far right column, now we have two columns here that look like they're duplicates of the same thing. The reason there's two columns there is if you deal with an account that's a foreign currency, you may want to put in an exchange rate up here, and it will show the foreign currency on the left and your base currency on the right. So if this was a sterling account that I was paying, you would see the two different values based on the exchange rate, and you can edit whatever one you want, you know. So we can see that the total value on this account is 373 quid. So let's say we just want to put in 373, and we also want to allocate that 373 and clear off those invoices. So we can tick on complete allocate, and I'm going to select the automatic matching in the bottom left because I'm just going to pay everything. And then click finish, and now I'm ready to put in my next payment. So if I wanted to pay the miscellaneous account, you know, you can pay the miscellaneous account too, in whatever way that gets broken down. So you might have a total amount for card or whatever the case may be, you know. To cancel back out of there, you just cancel back out. Now we can see we've got a couple of transactions in our batch. If that's your batch fully complete, down at the bottom you can save a batch. That's if you want to come back and continue it later on. Maybe you're heading out for lunch. But if you want to complete a batch, because over time you don't want to go into your batches and see a big long list of batches, what you need to do is check your control total at the top here first. So our running total on the left shows us the sum total of everything that we've added on in the batch. Your control total is a bit of a long-standing bookkeeping procedure where after you've entered everything in, you might do a quick tally up on a calculator just to make sure that everything adds up, and then you type in your control total there, 768.35. Once my control total matches my running total, I can tick complete batch at the bottom. I can close back out of there, and that's the March overheads entered in for March. Thank you very much. Until next time, take care.